use them to persecute you and to impeach you because they are relying on those 4 judgments to charge you. So now if a member of NEC and a member of long-standing serving member of the ANC who's saying the courts are with Ramaphosa, I think that the incidences which are happening, I mean, if Judge Bakwa will label me an operative agent, and I even worked under him as the public protector, coming out from him, it was a shocker for me. So I think even one of, I don't know whether to mention, but I agree, I think I shared that audio of Advocate Kakane SC at UNISA, where he was even saying, you know, if you are a judge, you should be, all of us are biased, and that as well was very critical, but he said, if you know that you don't like Mkhwebane, rather not sit in their matter because you are prejudiced over that particular person. So I think to me it's very concerning, and I think you find even judge, I mean the sealing of the CR17 records and in chambers, not even a court application was there. How do you explain that? So it's very questionable behavior, which I think as a country we can't have. So I constantly indeed find myself having to prove myself. Lapho khona, it's true. The mainstream media, they will have to find just one thing and run with it, which is negative, and not focus on the intention of each and every report which I have issued. I mean, starting with the CX, coming to your CR17, coming to the so-called rogue unit, where I was saying, the Constitution says the issue of a COVID investigation belongs to state security. And if we discover that SARS engaged themselves in that, it's violating, because my role is just to check whether there's any law which has been violated by those who hold office. And I think during my testimony, I'm also indicating that I'm facing persecution from the capitalist or capital. I'm facing persecution from the executive. I'm facing persecution from the judiciary now, and also mainstream media. And indeed, I'll come to your issue, Kamala Kangal, where you are saying backlash. I mean, since I started working as a public protector, if you can go and Google my name, young Kasi girl, don't Google my name because you'll be shocked what you will find. I'm red like crimson because it's feeding what the mainstream media is saying about me. So, I mean, our Financial Times, when they had to label me and say, am I the enemy of the state? Because I've touched the Reserve Bank. And by then I was saying, with the mandate of the Reserve Bank, as is in the Constitution, we will still remain like this generations to come. But I was doing that for South Africans and the public. I'm not doing it for any other political party or anyone, but I'm saying for all of us and our generations to come. So indeed, yes, I have to prove myself. Whatever I say, no, they will believe whatever the other parties are saying about me. So wage war against the 3 arms, I'm not waging war. I think I've shown the evidence, what the justice system has done. I mean, the issue of the good record, I had it on good record, Ismail Bant. I mean, I'm a chief investigator of the country. I know how to do a forensic investigation. I have evidence of communication between that person who's also attacking me on Twitter and hates me with a passion, communicating with the judges and saying the judgment will come and it will be like this. And indeed, that's what happened. So, I mean, I'm not waging war. I've got evidence, and now I must still prove myself going forward. So the lunch meeting issue, I think that one is a matter of the police, because I wouldn't want to venture into that space, and it's something they are dealing with. The Sunday World Court, the statement is very clear. I'm saying the judges also contributed because they didn't deal with the merits of the matter. They only dealt with the technicality of saying, no, I must just be waiting there, be abused by Janji and the committee, and until their report, and then I can bring the review. So fortunately, we applied for the appeal. They granted. In my statement, I'm mentioning that they acknowledge that they might have made a mistake, and we are proceeding to the Supreme Court of Appeal. That matter is still pending. So with me, the legislature, or that committee of parliament, they continued, irrespective of the fact that matters are pending in court. They don't even care about constructive contempt of court. But if the president and other members would say, no, the matter is before court, and or the agencies are investigating, so nothing is going forward. I'm not saying I must compare myself to them, but I'm saying justice must be seen to be done. So the issue of whether the courts, do I trust the courts by going back to the court, requesting Janji to recuse himself? You know what, the main intention is to make sure that one day they will realize, the judges, those who might be biased, to just focus on the law, play the ball and not play the man. If it's Mkhwebane and you don't like Mkhwebane because you are told about Mkhwebane this way and you can't be objective, just recuse yourself. Allow people who just focus on the law and make sure that when they issue judgments which will be coherent. There will be a proper precedence which is set for our law students, for our lawyers, and develop a jurisprudence. Don't develop a jurisprudence with the hatred, or you dealing with a certain individual. And when now somebody else is appearing before you, you deal with the matter differently. So on the other hand, going back to court, it's also to expose those who are corrupt or who might be captured or who are not operating independently as judges. So Stole, call to legal team by the committee, ethics committee. You know, the evidence was given to them. They are investigating. We're still going to respond to them. And this evidence and this information is the evidence of my husband, which it's something is available. And again, I think as Insider Politics said, you try always to prove yourself. When I'm treated like this is the only option I have, to speak to the media, to the public, and tell them, this is what I have. And I indicated in my statement, good, we're now with the kind of things which have happened, and the late Tina Jumat Peterson, may her soul rest in peace again. What would you have done? Must you just sit and keep quiet and say the committee will investigate? And I mean, the committee, they're saying they'll be proceeding. As soon as the issues of my legal representation is sorted out in front of the very same person. So I don't know whether that is proper. Will you? I think sometimes we forget that. Ask yourself if that is happening to you. Because now if I'm accused by 702 people, that is tricks and stuff like that. So it's fine. People can just abuse their power, can just do that, can just mute me as the head of a Chapter 9 institution. Imagine when they can do that to me as the constitutional institution head. What about you as members of the public? So I think that is danger based on that. On the issue of Magunyiwe, unfortunately, I couldn't say that as direct. When now you've said it, I'm just repeating what you are saying. I'm not saying that. You know what? You are in trouble, or you are being squeezed to the last degree because you are busy persecuting the black excellence. I think you are referring to, I mean, currently people are still being told that the Guptas captured the state, hence we have load shedding, and people who were there, we had electricity 24/7. We couldn't just plan for load shedding and everything. So I think the main thing is that I wouldn't stop. I said I'll serve the public. I'm still the public protector until the 14th of October. And I'm sitting here because I'm the public protector and I can't stand any threat of corruption. I'm trying to show you, Guti, what kind of a person you must have. So you'll continue getting a repo rate and repossessions of your houses. I think the middle class is faced with the curse of the middle class because you are owing the very same banks who will be repossessing your houses and everything. But at the end of the day, it's good to come and attack some of us who are trying to take you out from that misery. In media, well, they've started long time ago, since 2016. So I know there would be those who are independent, those who are fair, those who would want to listen to me, and I'll communicate to those who would want to listen, to hear my side. I mean, during my testimony, I said it. Those who have ears, let them hear. Those who have eyes, let them see. What is this the country of, is this the kind of South Africa we would want to find ourselves in? Because if we've got an issue of dealing with corruption, you've got an institution which can help the state to do that, but then the head of that institution is being dealt like that. I think somebody asked about my security. I think the main thing is that, yes, it might be there, but it's all in God's hands. Only God can protect me, and I trust God and will protect my family as well. That's all I can say, yeah.
Let's take another round of hands.
The last.
You will be first. Oh. You will be first. You will be second. And then I think these are follow-up questions, right, Karen? Yeah? You've got a follow-up questions too? Okay. Let's go in that order, right? You'll be first. Number second is who, by the way? You will be second. Third.
Good afternoon. Ours is a follow-up question based on the public protector's response and a question from Advocate Karen Mon. Oh, sorry, Karen Mon, not Advocate. Ishmael Abramji, he tweeted, he said, the case has died together with Tina Jumata Peterson. Now, our family is mourning a mother, a grandmother. A community has lost a person, good or bad. You know, culturally, we should not celebrate the death of somebody. But here you have Ishmael Abramji, and the Abramji brothers has been your enemies for years. I don't know, is it because you are African, they're Indian, you're educated, they don't have degrees, but we've monitored things like that. The Abramjis has been attacking you for years. So our question now is, are you an accused person in the, or a possible suspect in the death of the late one? Two, do you think you doing the Phala Phala investigation has led to you being persecuted, to you being labeled all these negative things? Because before Phala Phala, when we check, you were not that bad person, even in the media, but after Phala Phala, the public is still waiting for the 31 questions from the acting public protector a year later. So do you think you committed suicide as well, the day you decided to take on the Phala Phala report? And then lastly, you know, your term is coming to an end. And why we ask about your education, because we always read from Advocate Karen Mon, how uneducated are you? Sorry, Karen Mon, sorry. It's a mistake. Yeah. I'm from, I think my name, okay, what's your question? No, there's a question. What's your question? No, my name is Shannon Merricks. I'm from Kasi Broadcasting Africa, a registered black-owned media house. Thank you. Can I proceed? Thank you. This is really the discrimination we face as blacks. Blacks always, Karen Mon must ask first, ENCA must ask first. When we ask as blacks, we must be at the end of the queue. Can I continue? I've not talked to you. I mentioned your name by mistake. It's a mistake. I apologize, Advocate. Yes. Thank you, Advocate. I apologize. Sorry, Advocate. I'm apologizing. Okay. Okay. No.
Let him finish.
Karen, I'm going to address you as Karen, right? I am not going to tolerate this behavior. No. I gave her an opportunity. She also have got a follow-up question to make, right? We can't all speak, gentlemen. I mean, let's agree on that. You know, this is a professional. No. But yes, we do that. But when she's on a podium, ask for an opportunity. No. But hang on, gentlemen. Hang on. Hold on, Karen. Hold on. Please. Let's have order, guys. Let's have order, please. You know? Let's have order. I know the tensions are high, you know? Topical issue, emotional issue. Let's become and deal with the issues. If you feel insulted, let's take it on properly, but not just this to and fro, which is really disrupting this whole thing. Please. No, I didn't say anything. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Thank you. I apologize for calling you Advocate Karen Mon because you're not an advocate. Thank you. Yes. The last question is, your term is coming to an end. What is your future plan? What will you do to go and educate the black child in the township, where you come from, where you went to primary school, high school, the universities? Because after all this, you know, even they crucified Jesus. After they killed Jesus, he had to rise again. So what is your plan after the end of your term as public protector? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kosnati Shazi from Power FM News. I'll be very brief. Mrs. Mkhwebane, in 2019, you said only God can remove me from my position. Your term officially comes to an end in October. The Section 194 inquiry is set to conclude at the end of July, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But technically, you're still in your position. You haven't been removed. I don't know if it's too early to say, but I just wanted to find out, what score would you give yourself out of 10 for your tenure? Or is it too early, considering that you said that you still have a duty to fulfill, considering that as much as you're suspended, technically you're still the public protector? Thank you very much.
Sorry, just to follow up on my question around hearsay. It would appear from what we've seen from what you've played. Sorry, Advocate Mpofu, thank you. I'm trying to have my questions. What must I not do, sir? I can't call you Mpofu. Okay. All right. So you said that I'm just trying to understand your issue with the hearsay, because from what we've heard, you've clearly got alleged recordings of Ms. Jumat Peterson, and you have alleged WhatsApps from her. But we haven't heard any recordings of either Dianti or Madogina. And I'm just asking you directly if you have any direct evidence besides what your husband says was said, and what Ms. Jumat Peterson said, implicating either of those two individuals. Because I'm sure you would understand that if I had a conversation with, for instance, someone, you know, I know it's an example you often utilize, but you being called a spy, for example, if someone said to me that you are a spy and then I made that allegation, you would be completely in line to take action against me for repeating defamatory hearsay. So that's my question. Do you have any direct evidence that you can disclose at this point that either of those two individuals were knowing participants in this? And then second of all, there was a positive story that I did in December 2019 when you cleared Ms. Jumat Peterson of any wrongdoing in relation to the nuclear deal. And she was immensely positive about that. She said that you had vindicated her, that her family had been harassed, My family had suffered tremendously because of the perception that I signed a corrupt nuclear deal. My reputation has been tarnished. Do you have any concerns that clearing of her in that context may raise questions about her alleged motivations in all of this? Thank you.
Already?
Yeah. Thanks for that heated round of questions. PP.
Thank you. The question on, I didn't get your name again? Shannon. Okay. Yes, Shannon. Thank you, Shannon. Yes, indeed. It's so sad to see how some people are so, so cold, and, we are mourning the death of one of our own, and some people are making such sliding remarks. And I think, well, the issue of Abraham Shea, I mentioned it in my statement, that if you find that in another country, I mean, that was happening during that time when he leaked the pending Constitutional Court judgment. The issue was similar to what was happening in USA, when the outcome of I think the issue of the abortion laws was deliberated on. And it was a serious issue which was dealt with by that country. But in this country, nothing was done. And there was evidence, WhatsApp and everything, which we could prove. And unfortunately then, the Chief Justice Zondo went ahead and just appointed Judge Mpati to deal with the matter, contrary to what the Constitutional Court judgment in Kandla indicated, that any report of the public protector is valid unless set aside by a court of law. The possible suspect, I don't know about that. Why am I possible suspect when a person who approached my husband was trying to bribe my husband for my family to pay that kind of money? To make the matter to disappear because he's is dealing with that particular matter. Indeed, I'm persecuted for Phala Phala. Where have you seen where the chief investigator is investigating a person and then that person is suspended? And I've indicated that, I mean, the report till now is not yet out. And the issue of Phala Phala, indeed, it's what created all the challenges I'm facing now, and the suspension, which is illegal and confirmed by the Western Cape High Court, the 3 judges. I think I've mentioned that, and unfortunately now the Constitutional Court still is not delivering that particular judgment. It's 6 months down the line, and I hope the JSC will deal with that matter so that it's dealt with quickly. And indeed, my term is coming to an end, and indeed, I am meant to serve and make sure that we liberate a black child. Hence, during my 6 years as public protector, I made sure that the Vision 2023, the last pillar was having public protectors in each and every household. And by that, at least, we are making sure that people are knowledgeable and they know their rights. Hence, we had to come up with a mobile app so that each and every family can know what are their rights and what needs to happen. So I will be working very closely and in the public space and make sure that I contribute and I create the South Africa which I would want for my generation and the generations to come, and in any manner possible, so that we can deal with this. I mean, I'm sacrificing now my life, my safety, my family's life, to make sure that I show to the world that if you are a public protector, you can, you need to be spotless. You need to make sure that you deal with investigations, you go out there and deal with matters with the evidence before you. Because Nati, indeed, it's only a few months, I think it's less than 5 months now remaining. Indeed, I'm still the public protector. And, you know, you say I must indicate what score am I giving myself out of 10. I would say 9 out of 10. Because of first time in the history of this institution, we managed to have 3 clean audits. And not only clean audits, because people will say, no, clean audits, I mean, you just complied with the financial means. And with an improved performance, because we've changed the lives of the people. More than 60,000 families' lives were changed. People from Maspumelele, from there's a place, Ikemeling community, old people accessing water, people accessing their benefits, and we work with the team, and I hope they will continue doing that just for the sake of the public and not focus on themselves. Unfortunately, we've seen during the hearings that because I was so passionate about making sure that we lead by example, we are not accused of undue delay and putting a lot of pressure for the people who are working in that office, that, you know, you need to ask yourself when you are going home, have I made sure that another child has food on their table, an old person has water, a pensioner has been paid on time? So I would say, indeed, under my leadership, we've achieved a lot. So unfortunately, I'm facing this impeachment process, which is a choreographed process, which has an outcome already, because it's confirmed by Ms. Tina Jumat Peterson. I mean, I've indicated in my statement, one of the rulings, Zaga Chairperson Janji, is exactly what Tina said. And she was reading the notes that, okay, they are going to do this. They are no longer going to allow you to give oral evidence. Then they'll ask you questions in writing to circumvent and shorten the process. And indeed, that's what exactly is happening. And then the issue of Karen, I think the issue of alleged sharing. Hence, I'm saying to you, I don't have to prove to you, Karen, here, whether those people's audios and whatever. I indicated that there's hearings, there's investigations, the Hawks are investigating this matter, and indeed there's a lot of evidence which is there, which is proving the other collusion. And now the issue which Tina spoke about are indeed transpiring, and further things are still happening. And even if they don't even relate to my impeachment, the issue of the chairpersonship of the Western Cape and all those. The issue of Tina Jumat, issue of a nuclear deal, the December 2019, I don't know what do you imply when you say you wrote positively about me in that, because it was one of the reports we've issued which related to this particular investigation and her role in that particular matter, whether she had any role to play which directly implicates her in that particular matter. So I think I will just end it there, and I would appreciate it if you can make sure as well that at least let's maintain the decorum of this media briefing and not just barge in and ask questions. I think it's a serious, I take very serious exception, and even from you gentlemen from BLT, because I mean, you ask questions in the it's as if we are playing here, but we are serious. We are addressing the public on this particular issue. And I think we should just be fair to each other and not make one to conclude that, I mean, the behavior is coming from you because of your undermining possibly of this particular process, or your conclusions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Pipi. Do we have more hands? More questions? Anyone new? We've got one last one. Is that fine? Yeah. Please go ahead.
Advocate, just lastly, so let's say money exchanged hands at the end of the day. Do you know how the case would have eventually disappeared? Thanks.
Thank you. Pipi?
Maybe again to address the issue of the hearsay. I think the issue of evidence and everything, we will explain that, or the lawyers can explain that in details. I don't know whether SC would want to explain that, instead of taking the issue of hearsay from what members of parliament are saying. Again, inside politics, you find a media which will believe the other parties and not believe what I'm saying. But I'll allow the legal experts to deal directly with that. And the outcome of how was that going to disappear? It's in the audio. So it's there on the audio. On the audio. Where's the girl from Kasi? Mfunde kwaga yes, yangibona namanje ngiyabhayizana ngithi audio, fanele audio. Yeah, the audio is very clear that they are angry, both of them, Ujanji and Majodin. They wanted to be ministers, and Ujanji was given an instruction to deal with this matter, and then they were going to frustrate and delay this thing and indicate that they are just ending it. But then we will share that audio. You can listen audio. You will listen for yourself, and then they were going to just make it disappear so that there's no outcome. I mean, they've even advertised now the position of a private protector. And I hope they appoint a person who's very credible, who will pass scrutiny. Yeah, thank you. Advocate Mbofu.
Can I do it from here? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we were just asked here to come and just to give support to the PP. I didn't know that she's going to deploy me. But fortunately, as you know, we're not on brief currently in this matter. You know, I don't think we have time now to educate people about the hearsay rule. So I'll propose that the people must go to real lawyers, qualified lawyers, and maybe your various networks, SABC, you have very good experts like Mr. Zigalala, and others have other experts to explain the basics. It's a very simple rule, the hearsay rule. It says that it's about evidence whose probative value depends on another person. It cannot apply, for example, if we're sitting here and someone says the gentleman from Kasi Media had an exchange with the two people sitting there, and then I report on that, it's not hearsay because I'm here. You understand? And all of you are here, so you are witnesses to that. The fact that you didn't participate yourself, which to a layperson would make it look like hearsay, is neither here nor there. The hearsay rule doesn't work like that. Secondly, hearsay means evidence that is not corroborated by any independent evidence. So I'll find another example. If we, as we say, today is, what day is it? Tuesday, yeah. And then I say that to somebody else, and they're able to verify it from a calendar. They can't say it's hearsay because it was said by me, all right? Even though to them they didn't utter any words. Thirdly, the public protector has made it clear that the person who participated in the meetings, Mr. Skosana, is here in the room. And that person is her spouse, her husband. So also that means it's not hearsay. Fourthly, she has given various examples of corroborating evidence. For example, you'll see in one of the WhatsApps, it says, Ms. Jumat says, I've landed. And it's 21:30, I think, on a particular day. Even a child of 3 would then check, was Ms. Jumat on that plane? Did she land at 9:30 on that day? Yes or no? Once you've corroborated that, then you can't say it's hearsay that she landed when she said in the WhatsApp, I've landed. There are hundreds of other examples, but let's just not abuse legal concepts or take legal advice from members of parliament who just utter empty words like hearsay. Hearsay is a very serious legal concept that must be understood in its proper context. None of this, and I think the public protector has gone out of her way to say, read the WhatsApps with the audios and the other corroborating evidence, like the fact that her sister indeed worked for Ms. Jumat Peterson. Okay. I hope that's clear enough. If not, you can verify it with any first-year law student. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Advocate Mpofu SC. I want to thank all of you for participating in this important press briefing. I want to also apologize, to the rest of you, to the PP herself, for some of the conduct that was very unbecoming. I have to say that, almost bringing this into disrepute. Public protector, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane holds herself in a very high esteem and high regard in the manner in which she conducts herself. I bring very, very professional and, upholding the law, as it were, and doing everything in her power to ensure that, her office benefits the entire South Africans and in fulfilling her mandate. And I want to really apologize to you for that unbecoming behavior. As MC, I wouldn't allow that even at a 2-year-old birthday party. Yeah, yes.
All right, that's the wrap of that briefing. Suspended Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane briefing the media there regarding allegations of bribery by some ANC MPs and some members of the Section 194 inquiry, namely Section 194 Chair Kubutile Janki, Chief Whip for the ruling party Phemi Majodina, as well as the late former Minister Tina Jumat Peterson. The bribe was allegedly in order to stop the parliamentary inquiry into her fitness to hold office. A lot was unpacked by Mkhwebane, and of course we will get reaction following some of the things that she has alluded to today. One of them being that, she says they've handed over evidence to Parliament, the South African Police Service, as well as the Hawks, in the form of around 90 text messages, as well as 2 audio recordings exchanged between her husband and the late Tina Jumat Peterson, dated back as far as March already, in which the 3 members were allegedly trying to extort money from her.